Hello, welcome back. So in the previous part, we have seen how do we find out the strength of tension member in case of yielding, in case of rupture for different sections, say in case of plates, in case of single angle sections, in case of threaded rods. Now in this case, we will understand the design strength for block shear. Now first we need to understand what is block shear. Well, with this diagram, I hope you will have a clear idea what block shear is. In the block shear, if there are number of holes, if the spacing of the holes is not sufficient, in that case, sometimes what happens is the whole block of the section may shear off. So such kind of failure also found in some of those steel structures. So in the tension design, we consider this block shear failure also. So in this case, you can see in this diagram, section 1 and 2. Section 1, along the bolt 1 and 2, the line is under the shear. So you can see this force is trying to get this section is here, and this force is trying to get this section here. So this maximum shear is occurring along the bolt line 1 2. So this section is trying to go there and this section is trying to go there. So along the line of bolt 1 2, the plane will be called shear plane because it is under the effect of shear. And along the bolt 2 and 3, so along this, you can see this part is trying to go there and this part is trying to go there. So here we can see that line 2 3, bolt line 2 3 is under the tension, and that is why we call this plane as the tension plane. So you can see that in the block shear, two types of effective force are acting at the same time: shearing effect and the tension plane effect. So whenever we are calculating the member strength in case of block shear, we consider the strength of member in shear, strength of member in the tension in this case, because this is subjected to two types of force at the same time. We can see so this is the case of angle section. Such cases also occur in plate section. So in this case, in the second case, you can see the block shear failure in the plate. Here, this is the example of gusset plate, but you can see how this block shear is happening in this plate. So this is the real photo of a steel member. So there you can see block shear is happening. So now, how do we find out the strength of block shear? Well, IS code has mentioned the strength of block shear in this section. So that formula I'll be showing you. So we consider strength of member in case of block shear. We express that as TDB. And this is the formula that is being mentioned in the IS code. So generally we try to find out block shear strength with these two relations, and the relation which is giving lesser strength will be adopted as the block shear strength of the member. So in this, there are some terms which are being used like AVG, ATN, AVN, ATG. So what is the meaning of that? We will understand that. So this is the photo that I have used of IS code. In the IS code, it is clearly mentioned what is AVG and AVN. So AVG and AVN, it says minimum gross and net area in shear along bolt line parallel to external force respectively. So it says line 1 2 and 3 4. So now we will see that in the next diagram. So in the IS code also, this is the diagram given. So if there is a tension force, say P, and because of the shear failure, because of the block shear, the failure may occur along the line 1 2 and 4 3 and along the 2 3 line. So 2 3 line will be under tension, line 1 2 and 4 3 will be under shear. So AVG and AVN cross sectional area along the line 1 2 and 3 4, So in the first figure, you can see that similarly ATG and ATN will be the area of cross section along the line 2, 3. So it says, you can see that. So along the 2, 3 line, what will be the cross sectional dimension? And along 1, 2 and 3, 4, what will be the cross section? So we have divided those cross section in terms of AVG, AVN, ATG and ATN. So once we have calculated these cross section without bolt, and then we have calculated these cross section with bolts, with bolt hole. So we will see that more clearly about it in the example. FU and Fy we already know. FU is the ultimate strength and Fy is the yield strength of the steel sections. Now coming to another very important parameter that we generally use in the while designing the numerical, while designing the tension member. Say for example, if we know how do we find out the efficiency of the tension member, then we can determine which section should be used and how. Say for example, there is an angle section. Say it is the leg of angle section is unequal. Like this is say for example, this is 75 and this is say 100. So if we are supposed to connect this angle along one leg only, so we may have problem like which leg should we connect with the plate, whether we should collect longer leg or the shorter leg. So which leg should be connected? So for that, what we can do is we can find out the efficiency of the leg if we connect it using the long leg or if we connect using the short leg. So if we try to find out the efficiency of this angle section, so whichever leg gives us the maximum efficiency will be the best part, will be the part which we will connect with the plate. So the formula to calculate the efficiency of the tension member will be this one. So generally we represent efficiency by eta, and eta will be equals to the least of TDG, TDN, TDB upon TDG. TDG is the gross yield strength and TDN is the net rupture strength and TDB is the block shear strength. So we will find out the strength of member in all three terms, and whichever will be the smaller will be the strength of that member. And finally we will divide that with the TDG, that will be the gross yield strength, and we find out the efficiency in terms of percentage. So this is the field where we use this efficiency to get the effectiveness of the tension member. Now there are some steps which are being involved to design the tension member. We will see those steps. So when we are designing the tension member, we will follow those steps only. So first step is we will find out the net area required, AN, to carry the design load T. So in the problem, we will be given the load for which we have to design the tension member. So if the load will be given, then we will be finding the net effective area required to carry this tension load. So using this relation, we will find out the net effective area. Then the section may be connected with the bolt holes. I mean with the bolt. So for the bolt, we will be having holes in the section. So to accommodate those holes, what we will do is once we get the area AN, we will increase this area by 25 to 40% depending on the number of bolts. So it says from the required area, we will increase that by 25 to 40% to accommodate the area of the holes. At the same time, we can also calculate the gross area. So here we are calculating net area. Directly we can calculate the gross area using the another formula, this one. So using this, we can calculate the AG, gross area, and then we can compare the gross area from both cases. In the first case, what we have done, we have calculated AN, and then we have increased this AN by 25 to 40%. And in the second formula, we have directly calculated the AG. So AG calculated by this phenomena, AG calculated by this phenomena, we can compare that, and then whichever gives us the maximum area will be, we can adopt that. So depending on the condition. So once we get the AG, what we will do is we will choose a trial section from the steel table. So from the steel table, we will choose a trial section of the member from the steel section table to meet the required gross area. So based on this gross area, we will select that steel member. We will see this more in detail when we will be designing this tension member. How do we select or how do we choose the trial section? We will see that in the problems. Then in the next step, we will be finding the number of bolts required, or if we are using the welding, then we will be required to find out the welding length for the connection, and then we will be required to arrange in a suitable pattern. So what if there is a zigzag pattern or if there is a chain pattern, so we will decide that, and once we provide that, we will be analyzing the design strength of the trial section. So the trial section that we have chosen in the previous step, we will be finding out the strength using the formula that we have discussed so far, like TDN, TDG, TDB, all those strength we will find out of this trial section, and then we will check that whether the design strength of the chosen trial section is more than, we will see that if the design strength, if the design strength if the design strength is more than the load required, which was given in the problem. If it is greater than this, it is safe. If it is very greater than this, then we have to revise the section. Or if by chance if it is less than the load required, then again we have to revise the section. So this is what we have to do in the next step. In the next step, it is mentioned if the design strength is either small or too large compared to the design force, which is being mentioned in the problem. In both cases, we will have to revise our design, which means we have to take another trial section, and then we have to go back to step 3, and we have to repeat it until we find out the satisfactory design, or until we find out a satisfactory trial section which can take the required load. Once we select that, we sometimes check, we check slenderness ratio requirement also, because in the tension member, as I said in the first part, that generally slenderness ratio is not much significant in case of tension member, but for minimum stiffness requirement, we check the slenderness ratio for the member. So in the IS code, if we refer to this table 3, it has given some permissible limit of the slenderness ratio. So you can see the table, and slenderness ratio is called L by R. L is the effective length of the member, and R is the minimum radius of gyration. So we will see that when we will be solving the problem. So there are some cases which it has described. If a tension member in which a reversal of direct stress occurred due to the loads, there may be some tension member in which reversal of the stress may occur. Like reversal of stress is, for example, if we are designing a member in tension, but somehow this member may be subjected to compression for some time. Say for example, in case of wind, in the case of wind, this reversal of stress may occur in some of the members. Similarly, a member subjected to compressive force resulting only from the combination of wind earthquake action, provided the deformation of such a member does not adversely affect the stress in any part of the structure. So this case we will consider. If all these cases we consider based on the problem. So in the problem, if we are already mentioned that we will be using that member for a particular case, we will be checking the slenderness ratio based on these four cases. So this was the theoretical part of the tension strength, I mean tension member. We will be designing that numericals. We will be solving the problems uh, related to the tension member in the next part. Thank you.